He's fighting all these British fighters, and like it does nothing to his legacy. So I don't know whose fault that is. I mean, I don't want to mention anything, but I think Canelo should really analyze carefully who he wants to fight next.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oscar Delahoya. Oscar Delahoya, as you guys heard him criticize Canelo Alvarez for his legacy and stated that, no one wants to see these British or Canelo fight all these British guys. It does nothing for his legacy. And let me counter punch. This really shows how bitter Oscar De La Hoya is, or really how anybody could be after making so much money, having the cash cow in the sport of boxing, losing the cash cow in the sport of boxing, and not being able to really cope with it. That's what it means. De La Hoya, every chance he gets, he talks about Canelo Alvarez. He criticizes Canelo Alvarez. And, what he should realize, the guys he still has, Ryan Garcia, Victor Ortiz, Jaime Munguia, I think he should focus on those guys. And I think it's just better karma, right, to just stick to the fighters that you have. Because him talking about Canelo Alvarez is not a good look. Okay? So, because it only reflects how he would have done things. And I understand how some people, it's like having a job once upon a time, and that job that you have, or had rather, you hear about it being done, and then you would always critique it or criticize it. So maybe he's doing that. But then when you're talking about a person's career, I think he needs to work on his fighters at hand, because his fighters at hand, speaking of Jaime Munguia, what has he done in his career? What has Jaime done in his career? He missed up the Charlo fight, didn't get the Golovkin fight. Golovkin has turned down 2 belts since then. Good boy, right? No, bad boy. Fight someone. Right? So, he hasn't done anything for his fighters. Now, he has Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, and he's looking forward to dealing with Al Heyman again. I hope that happens for him, because we need to see more and more fights, And these guys supposed to get along, or they should get along, in order to get the job done for the fighters, for the fans, for the sport of boxing, and all that. But him talking about Edward Hearn, he ruined his career. He's ruining his career. Yeah, I think he should give it a rest with that shit and focus on his own people, because that can be toxic over time when you constantly talk about a fighter and what he's doing, And it's just so obvious, though. It's like, yo, Oscar, chill, bro. You know what I mean? You ain't got over that shit yet. Do you know how long it's been since Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez has actually worked with each other? It's been damn near 5 years. Like, dude, in 5 years, man, that's like, And I do understand, if you are in love with someone, it takes you a good, I don't know, for some people, But in this situation, he looked at Oscar, and he's trying to, Bivol, he criticized him for being in there with Bivol, then turns around and says, well, he should fight guys like Bivol. Well, he fought Bivol, and you didn't approve. And that only shows me that Oscar De La Hoya, while he was promoting Canelo Alvarez, he protected him. He kept him away from dangerous opponents, right? And you can tell, but like De La Hoya had all kind of other shit going on. De La Hoya actually had a lot more protection than Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is a guy that just wants fights made. Oscar De La Hoya had certain things and decisions go his way just because of who he was. So yeah, he had certain things done and certain things in place, but unfortunately for him, that fell through because he didn't, do what he's supposed to do as a promoter, and then he has to live with it. And I think a lot of people nowadays have to own up to shit. Own up to it, dude. You lost the biggest draw in America or in the Americas. It is what it is. And you talking about Eddie Hearn instead of congratulating him, you hating on him. I think you should do the opposite. I think you should, stop talking shit about Eddie Hearn, and Canelo, and start focusing on those guys that you can actually make a difference in the sport of boxing too. Because at this point, him saying those type of things about, Eddie Hearn and what Canelo and who he should fight and all this shit, you know what I mean? It's like, listen, put Jaime Mugi in there with Bivol if you want to. He will get destroyed. He keeps his mouth open. He throws a lot of punches, but he won't deal with someone that big and fast. He will get eaten alive. He will be a man inside the tiger, meaning the tiger fucking ate him. That's exactly what Bivol is, the tiger. Jaime Mugi is the man that will live inside the tiger once he gets eaten. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Oscar De La Hoya once again criticizing the career and legacy of Canelo Alvarez. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!